Hello. Welcome. This morning I'm finishing off some aether quests. And yeah, let's get to it. Ere you become even more excited, will you indeed require additional parts to perform your repairs? I cannot say I spotted any likely spares while setting up the camp. It's good to have a good quick thinking machinist like yourself on my side. No amount of flattery will convince me to take you to my superiors ere we have physical proof of your good intentions. Now focus, please. Are spare parts required, yes or no? Yes, yes, you're awfully tense about those shoulders. Did you know that? I will be needing a replacement carburetor for one of my engines. Fortunately, the same sort of engines were in use at monitoring Station G last I checked. We ought to be able to find what we need there. After I've swapped out the faulty part and made my own other repairs, I'll warm the engines up properly. That should clear any cerulean residue and allow them to run at full capacity once more. With that in mind, I want to start taking things apart. Can you fetch the carburetor for me? Do you even know what a carburetor is? She's a bona fide hero, you know, you can't just ask her to do your bidding, and rudely at that. I'm used to being ordered around. If you're certain, you will need to look for a tube connected to the cerulean engine's core. Many Magitech devices utilize them. Never fear, I shall keep an eye on the obvious. No, it's carburetor. Carburetor. This so-called carburetor appears to have seen better days. Perhaps another cerulean engine has a nicer one. The carburetor appears to be intact. Appius will know for certain. And not a moment too soon. Were you able to find the intact carburetor? This will do it. Now Remold and I can finish fixing up those engines in no time at all. There, everything's in order. These should be much more efficient, and you'll notice they stop making strange and ominous noises. I must say, I am taken aback by your abundance of skill. Allow me to thank you on behalf of everyone here at Broken Glass. Ah, the pleasure is all mine. Happy to be of service. You do seem genuine about that. Tell me, do you have some sort of connection to Camp Broken Glass? In a way, I hail from Laterum, as it happens. It was a village here, precisely where the camp is now. It acted as a checkpoint for those visiting the capital, but it was also home to the rig's workers and our families. Obviously, much has happened since last I could call this place home, but in my heart of hearts, it will always be. I must apologize. We're effectively occupying your home, yet placed the full burden of proving good faith in our dealings upon you. Oh no, I couldn't blame you for that. We hardly had a viable alternative to abandoning Laterum, knowing we could never defend ourselves against wandering bands of maddened soldiers. But the reality is no more your fault than ours. Even if you vacated right this instant, I doubt many of us would return here. We simply don't have the resources. Until Jeturner Platform G is back in working order, that is. Truth be told, your presence here is what has me daring to hope. If you agree to help me now, there may come a day when the other survivors and I can come home. Fury above, I certainly can't turn you away now, and you've proven yourself with your work this day. I have no lingering qualms about approaching my superiors with your proposal. Truly, oh, I could kiss you. Perhaps I should temper my expectations, or is it better to remain positive? Quick, tell me what the face better endears you to my cause. If there are no objections, I will speak to the quarters master about getting the necessary men and supplies for this operation straight away. He's stationed just over there in the pavilion. Could I trouble you to accompany me? It might help if another can testify to Appius's sincerity and competence. Great idea. What are we waiting for? One would think you didn't have a care in the world. Let us pray that else the lot is amused rather than irritated. Ooh, the nerves are really setting in now. This is the quartermaster Estelot. Have you two not met? Ah, Rimrold, I see you brought Mistress Son in. Is that the envoy from Tapper's Den? Yes, you see, it all began with Appius here. I see. I would certainly be a boon. It would certainly be a boon to us if the platform was restored to working order. No doubt. So you agree to help? On one condition. You must first confirm that the platform can be reactivated. We aren't blessed with a surfeit of and personnel and resources, Thus are reaching out to the tappers to begin with. We cannot waste time. and manpower on operations with little chance of success. Rimworld, you are tasked with assessing the current state of Tunera Platform G, as well as the precise resources would need to commit to reactivating it. I shall make my final decision on how to proceed only once I am fully abreast of the situation. Yes, sir. In that case, Yo and I will accompany you. You really have to stop making decisions on Yo's behalf, but I would be glad for the company. Meet up at Juno's Platform G if you would. Happiest can help me carry the equipment. If it can be reactivated, that platform will play a key role in restoring these lands to their former habitability. I pray you return with good tidings. This is an Imperial facility. Be sure, garish, if you ask me. To be sure, garish, if you ask me. I do miss the days when we had a full crew, pumping and tinkering and operating heavy machinery on too little sleep. As much as I would like to know what in the hell's you're on about, we have no time to be revisiting old memories. We're here for one reason and one reason only. I know, at least the exterior seems unharmed. I'll head inside and have a look around. Can you two stay here and make sure nothing large and hungry is waiting for me when I come back? That sounds reasonable. Yo, let us keep our wits about us. Excellent. I'll see you both in a bit. Not exactly warm out here, is it? Nevertheless, we must stay focused. Ah, Appius, how did it look? The equipment appears undamaged, though temperatures are low that we'll need to be careful about how we turn everything on again. It's just... What, is there another issue? Excuse me. In a word, yes. I couldn't find the identification key. Without it, there is no way to activate the platform, even if it were in pristine condition. And why exactly was it designed with such an obvious flaw? Flaw? Geotuna Platform G is the capital's main supplier of ceruleum. It wouldn't do if anyone could turn it on and off now, would it? The key is always kept secure, and there... One sec. and there's only two people able to open the container it's usually stored in. Myself and Chief Ronturus. I haven't seen him since the blasted war began, but I can only imagine he's out there somewhere, key in hand. Which means he avoided being tempered. I've never met anyone quite as loyal to the Empire as Chief Ronturus. He probably took the key to stop anyone from misusing the platform. Then I'd say he succeeded in his aim. It stayed dormant this whole time and out of hands of the warring factions. Indeed, now we just have to find out where he is. I'm sorry for wasting your time. There's no way we can get this place up and running without that key. Don't tell me you're going to give up just like that. Not after I found the carburetor for you, you don't. I suppose you're right. With the three of us together, surely we can think of something. I appreciate your optimism, but how are we going to solve this problem? Is there really no way to bypass the mechanism the identification key interacts with? What exactly do you mean? I work at a manufactory in Ishgard. I once watched my superior, as his way, dismantle a Magitech armament and put it back together again. He succeeded in bypassing the verification mechanism required to activate the machine by rewriting it. I was wondering if something similar wouldn't be possible with the platform. That's something a second-rate thief would do. Well, beggars can't be choosers. Save your chief engineer appearing out of thin air is likely our only option. You've got a point there. Far be it from me to turn down a proposal from an esteemed colleague. I'm so glad to have you at my disposal. That's the spirit, I suppose. I shall return to camp to inform the quartermaster of our plan. He should be willing to spare an external power source and a few other tools if I vow to return them soon. Perhaps even some extra pair of hands. That leaves me to open up the control panel and rearrange a few things before Rimwald returns. In the meantime, I'd thank you to keep an eye out for anything that might eat him on the way back. There were never so many beasts around before, but they must have gotten comfortable with us tapsing back and forth across the ice. A little too comfortable, if you ask me. Well, I've done all I can for now. I even caught the end of your battle with those creatures. Spectacular. Ready to go to work, I hope. Of course, that's all that's left is to engage in a bit of Ishgardian skullduggery. I'm not sure I care for that turn of phrase, but very well. We'll attach the power devices which should allow you to utilize the control panel. Thrilling. This place will be up and running before you know it. Just stand back and watch the master at work. It worked, yes? You bet it did. There's life in the old girl yet. Of course, there's still a lot of work to be done to get it ready to extract and refine ceruleum, but we're off to an excellent start. Which means Garlemro just took its first steps on the road to recovery. I cannot thank you both enough. I'll be feeling that thrill for days. Fortunate am I to have such brilliant new friends. I'm pleased that this plan was a success after all. I appreciate you seeing it through to the end. We can leave the rest to the engineers I brought with me. They're more than capable of keeping the place operational until we've prepared for the next phase. Now let us return to camp and inform Estilat of our triumph. Good to see you again. I was wondering when I might hear how you had fared with the platform. And it seems I won't have any longer to wait. I trust your eagerness is a sign that you had some success. Yes, sir. We were able to access the platform's controls and confirm that it is operational. There are still adjustments to be made, but I imagine it won't be long until it's fully operational. Splendid. If the camp can secure a stable supply of energy, we can begin rebuilding throughout the region. It will doubtless give succor to those in Tapper's Den and the capitals proper as well. One of our goals when we first came here was to improve the lives of those that still call this frozen land home, and you have made a great contribution towards realizing that ambition. Thank you, sir. I certainly wouldn't have made it this far without your genius. The days when Garlemald look towards a bright future seem so distant now, that the snow and frost have reclaimed their dominion. But I, for one, am ready to embark on the same journey that my ancestors once did, and build a new home around the warmth of cerulean flame. I am certain that when the time comes, I shall be proud to know that I worked alongside you. I must thank you as well. You have taught me to listen with sincerity to the words of those who I would otherwise have unjustly scorned. I imagine it will be some time before we can return Lateran to its former inhabitants, but I promise that when we do, I will be in a better state than when you left. It will be in a better state. Well then, we'd better get to work. We indeed. We receive countless supplies of late from a host of nations. Although they're all dealing with their own troubles, we're all heartened that they would go to such lengths for people of Garlemworld, in spite of the past. Okay, next up is Armored Up. So you found it within your heart to help an old friend once again, eh? Rest assured, I won't forget your generosity. Now to the matter at hand. The people have told me about the Magitech weaponry stalking the frozen tundra. With no pilots to guide them, they unleash their fury upon whosoever is unfortunate enough to cross their paths. Several of the refugees attempted to combat the threat using a few abandoned suits of Magitech armor, but they were soon overwhelmed. It's not often you see Magitech turn on Magitech, but not much surprises me these days. Luckily, no one was killed during the incident, but the mindless machines are still out there, primed and ready for their next target. That's where you come in. The stories say you're a demon in Magitech armor, and I reckon you'd reduce those things to pile of scrap before I even felt the chill in my fingertips. Like I said before, I'd do it myself, but seeing as how I've never even ridden in a suit of armor, I'd just be buying myself a ticket to an early grave. Rest assured, however, that I'll do my best to learn from your example. Any road, there's a suit waiting for us outside. I'll go ahead and ready it for you. Don't leave me waiting out in the cold for too long. We shall make as ready as she's as ready as she'll ever be. I don't think I need to tell you this, but make sure not to bring those things near the cave. I'll stand watch from here and make sure all goes to plan. Stay safe out there, friend. There you are, safe and sound. See, I knew you'd make quick for those heaps of metal. Doubtless they were used to deadly effect when the Garleans waged war amongst themselves. In order to ensure they fired upon their own countrymen, they were made to destroy anything that came within their sights. The fact that they're causing trouble this far out is distressing indeed. I must warn my superiors upon my return. Before that, however, there is yet one more task that I would ask of you. I fear I might be imposing overmuch, but would you have my word that this is the last, but you have my word that this is the last one? Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. And I'm back. One final task, and I won't bother you any longer. You needn't fight anything, at least not if you don't want to. No, this time I mean to make use of your more diplomatic facilities. One of my duties here is to find out whether the refugees wish to return home or not. Naturally, each will have their own decision and their own reasons, but getting a general feel for things will help us determine the best way to help in the days ahead. I'll gather what information I can from the people in the caves. You only have to speak with one man, but it may be a bit of work to find him. I've been told he ventured off towards the wreckage of the Imperial train. Now we could wait for him to return, but I'm running behind as it is. If you could do this, you'd be helping not only me, but all those who've been left without a home. Oh, it's not often I encounter someone else out here. You've come for a ceruleum, then I'm afraid this area has already been picked clean. I'm here to ask if you want to return to your homeland. Jarek has already asked me as much, but I suppose he must be thorough. Could you give me a moment? I would first like to offer a prayer to the departed. The wreckage was left in the wake of one particularly fierce battle. A dear friend of mine journeyed here to search for abandoned supplies, but a sudden explosion cut his life short. Although I had meant to offer him a lone prayer, why don't you join me? He always was one to enjoy the company of others, even those he scarcely knew. I have placed these stones to mark the spot passing. Pray to his memory, if you will. He was a brave man and well loved. Thank you. Whatever sustenance prayers provide to those who have passed, I am sure my friend is grateful for it. As for your previous question, well, I am Alamegan by birth and was taken from my home and family by the Empire and made to serve their interminable wars. After 10 years, my hands were so stained with blood I no longer recognized them as my own. Days, weeks, years blended into one another until I finally was released from service. For the first time in a long while, I thought for myself. Did my wife and child still live? Would they allow one so steeped in sin to come back into their home? Even now, I cannot bring myself to consider the answers to those questions. So in short, I cannot say. Please leave me with my thoughts. I won't be far behind, I promise. There you are, and even sooner than I had anticipated. What did the man say? I see, such a tragic story, but sadly not an uncommon one. It seems that for some, the question of where home lies has no easy answer. In any case, we've done all that we can at present. Let's return to camp and report our findings to the contingent, eh? I've gone to the trouble of submitting my report already, so you needn't worry about that. And as I promised, that brings an end to my endless requests. Truth be told, my motivations for being here are entirely out of sense of duty. My father was conscripted into Guardian forces long ago, so when I heard that refugees had been found here, I had to meet them for myself. I volunteered for this duty, but unfortunately, none of the refugees stirred my memories of him. Still, I won't give up on the search, no matter what misdeeds he was forced to commit. All I want is to see him again, to share a meal under the same roof. Some, like Jarek, seem resigned to accept this place as their home, but there are others, like my father, who have people waiting for them, searching for them. If I can see even one family reunited, then all of this will have been worth it. Although the road ahead is a long one, it's time I stop forcing you to walk it with me. Thanks for all you've done, friend. Please take this. You've earned it 1,000 times over. Okay. The air may be chilly, but I've got some great deer, some rare items and warm opposite of your heart all ass is breaking. Okay. He's safer here than outside, but it's clear he'd be better off coming with us. There must be some way to persuade him. One sec. Please help me find my parents. My mom's got red hair just like me and my dad. Balut. Valusas, you have to understand that there's little chance we'd find your parents even if we went looking for them. I do understand, that's why I'm waiting here. They promised to meet me at the station. I know it's too dangerous for me outside, but you two can fight, can't you? So please, please don't give up on them like everyone else. It's either this or I drag them off kicking and screaming. I worry that we're only giving him false hope, but very well. After all, the least we can do is try. Thanks to my time in Vigils Urbani, I know the capital like the back of my hand. Between the two of us, we should be able to conduct a reasonably thorough search. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see them again. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is exactly what I was afraid of. To the task at hand, then. Given the present state of the capital, tracing his parents' steps will be no easy feat. Velocis, do you know anything that might help us in our search? Well, I was thinking about going back to my house if it's still there. Where is that? Are there any landmarks nearby? It's on the outskirts of town to the south, between the tavern and the bookshop. Oh, and Dad always used to fly a huge imperial flag in front of our house. We were the only family that had one in our neighborhood. That should be enough to go on. Alright, let's get going. They're alive, I know they are. Well, we're in the right area. Remember, he said it was between a tavern and a bookshop and that they had a large imperial flag in front of the house. Let me know the moment you find anything that might be useful, no matter how insignificant it may seem. Now let's start our search. We can only hope they left some clues as to their whereabouts. Without it, well, let's cross that bridge if we come to it. You find a leaflet amidst the rubble, apparently from a bookshop. The War on Ilspell Bard now in stock. Don't miss the chance to own the masterpiece dedicated to the Emperor's Solace achievements. Try searching elsewhere for a clue to Voler's parents' whereabouts and show anything promising to Gala. You find a letter amidst the rubble. Though much of it has been rendered illegible, you can make out words. You are cordially invited to an evening of the fine food and drink at Palum Novum. Try searching elsewhere. You find a letter amidst the rubble. It begins, "Dearest Valis, I pray this message finds you well. Galar will be eager to inspect this potentially vital clue." Found something, have you? Let's have a look. Ah. It's addressed to Velocus, and from his parents, no less. And you said you found it nearby? It looks like someone's tried to clear away the rubble, and they thought better of it. This place is far too exposed. His parents must have come back to see if their boy had returned home, and then left him this letter. Judging by the condition of the paper, it's safe to assume some time has passed since their visit. We're unlikely to bump into them simply waiting here. Alright, I'll reply just in case they return, but for now let's head back to Velocus. Excellent work finding this. Right. I have to go in the entrance. Which side is the entrance? Is it that side or this side? I have a feeling I'm going the wrong way. Wait. Duh. Did you find anything? Why, yes, we did. A letter addressed to you from your parents, in fact. This is sure to help in our search, I know it. Can I see it? This is addressed to me, but this isn't my mom and dad's handwriting. Don't give up so leave it, silly Velocus. Here, let me read it for you. I am injured, but am in. Do not worry about me for now. You must stay out of danger. Love, Hispania. Unfortunately, it looks like the part detailing their location got wet at some stage. It's completely illegible. Hispania. That's Mom's name. And so it is from her after all. There's a good chance she's still alive. I knew it. We're one step closer to finding her. In all honesty, I'm amazed we found anything. Thank you for convincing me that the search was worthwhile. It's clear as day to me now why your comrades have nothing but praise for you. With you on the case, we'll find his mother in no time. Maybe Dad is with her. Okay, what time is it? 9:09. Okay. I have an appointment I have to be at. So I gotta call it here. But thanks for watching. Thank you, Kumabot, for banning bots. And I'll see you in the next one.